The whole story behind liquidity and the rest of the thing is just a gimmick, because the market does not understand whatever you're saying liquidity. That is the reason why 99% of the traders that went through the liquidity concept training are still losing, because you're trading something different from what the market is doing. In this video, I'm going to tell you why you're still losing after learning the liquidity concept. Now, let's take a look at this weekly chart. If you look at this weekly chart, are you seeing anything like market sweep liquidity and tap into your POI? You will hardly see that. Now, if a liquidity trader should come and mark here as a liquidity, then wait for the market to come to this area for him to use this place as an entry, what happens? The market never came there. If I go up again and another trader will say this is liquidity here, and he's waiting for the market to break through liquidity, come down and tap in there, the market never did that. Now, if I go in through this weekly chart, you look at it, you see that the algorithm that controls the chart is not doing anything called liquidity. You're just the one deceiving yourself with liquidity. Now, let's go into daily also. If I go into daily, what are you seeing? You're seeing that the market is not doing anything called liquidity. If a trader was waiting to sell and a trader comes mark here and calls here liquidity, wait for the market to come and tap him or her inside this place, the market never got there, because you are the one that created something from your imagination. You're not creating something that the algorithm that controls the market works with. You're creating something out of your imagination. That's the reason why you miss a lot of trades and you lose a lot of trades. Most times the liquidity traders, before they win one trade, they might have lost like 20 times. I know a lot of liquidity traders, sometimes before they win one, they've lost like 20 times. That is the reason why whenever they win one trade, it will look as if they won a lottery of $50 million. They'll feel so happy. Looking at this one also, you see on daily, are you seeing anything like market sweep liquidity and tapping any POI? You're not seeing anything like that. Watch from here. So that means a trader will be watching here without getting any trade, and all this move will be wasted. Meanwhile, advanced mercenary trader will be catching a lot of trade inside this higher time frame candles. The same thing if you go down, there's nothing like that. Let's take a look at another example. A trader will say this is liquidity, waiting for market to come down so that he or she will enter here, but market never came back. Market is just rallying. The same thing here, market never came down to here. Now, because they are not getting liquidity on a very strong and reliable time frame, they will be forced to do what? They'll be forced to go down to lower time frames like 15 minutes to go and trade, because that's where they'll be seeing all those things they created for themselves. And now, because of that, you sit on top of 15 minutes looking for liquidity, looking for POI. Before you catch one trade, you might have lost like 20-30 times. Because when you come to the 15 minutes chart here, let's take an example. A trader will say this is liquidity, and he will mark here as POI. Remember, a lot of my students came from liquidity concepts, so I know them. They told me the stories of how they lost. You see the market, they will take care as liquidity, market tap here. What happened? The market came back and kicked them out, because this 15 minutes that you're trading here, this shot you're taking here, does not correlate with daily, doesn't correlate with 4 hour, doesn't correlate with weekly. You're just marking something and calling it any name, and what happened? You miss out. And after missing out, you see how the market dropped. You see that the market dropped, and that's why most of the time they miss out on a lot of opportunities. In my next video, I'm going to tell you what you should use instead of liquidity. Liquidity doesn't work. So instead of you wasting your time with liquidity, I'm going to tell you guys what to use in the part 2 of this video. Take a look at this very one here. A trader will call this liquidity, double bottom. What happens? The trader wants to pick a trade where? Here. Wants to take a buy here, and where is his target? Up here. What happened? The market deceived him, played him a little bit as if he wants to move, but what happened? He lost it. So you'll be waiting all your life to get liquidity concept to trade, and what happened? The market will also kick you out. Not just here alone. If you look at this point, we have something they will call liquidity here, and what happens to that liquidity? There's something they want to pick a trade with here, which they will call POI. See how the market came, pretended as he wanted to use that their liquidity concept. You see, tap in, they'll feel like here the market is going to come up to this place. They lost the first time. See, that's the first losing. Now after losing this one, liquidity people, this is how they trade. They will mark another place here, say here is liquidity, here will be another POI, this is where the market wants to use, and what happened? Voila, the market disrespected it. They come back again, mark here, and what happened? The market disrespected this. How many times have they lost this trade? 1, 2, 3. This is just the small part of their losing. Before you now win one trading liquidity, you've lost like 30. Yeah, sometimes it might work and you'll be thinking, yeah, it works, but no. Before it works, how many times did you lose? And sometimes the market might not even come back to that area where you're marking as your POI. Just imagine a trader marking here as liquidity and trying to use here as POI. The market never came down. You've missed the opportunity. Meanwhile, someone trading advanced MS scenario will get a very good trade, very nice trade from where? From here. Also get a nice trade from this place. Get a trade here and the thing leaves. Another advanced MS scenario trader will get another quality trade from here. You see that? Meanwhile, liquidity trader is waiting for the market to come and clear here, then gives him an entry at this point. Meanwhile, the market is not willing to come down here because the entries you are getting from these key levels here, this one, and this one correlates with your daily. It matches up with your daily. So it has no reason for it to come back down here again. Let's look at this 15 minutes. How many times did market clear out liquidity and tap you in? You see, how many times? It never did here. How many times did it happen here? It never happened. Someone waiting for market to clear out here, POI here, it never happened. So all these moves that happened here, you just miss out because you created what? An imaginary concept in your head and you're using it to try to peddle the market. You created an imaginary concept in your head that doesn't correlate with the algorithm that controls the market. Because of that, you're either losing too much or you're missing out on trades or you're not catching trades at all. Any concept or strategy that you're building, you should make sure that that concept or strategy match up with the algorithm that controls the forex or synthetic market. When you do that, you see that you'll be winning more trades. I'm not saying that advanced MS scenario is the only concept or trading strategy that works. There are other strategies that works, and if you go into the strategies that work, you see that those strategies are built with the algorithm that controls the market in mind. So if you see, most of the strategies that are working are strategies that are built on the algorithm that controls the forex market. If you check my previous video, you see we made 1:200 RR in a week. That was because we were trading together with the algorithm that controls the market. As a forex trader, don't deceive yourself with trying to trade with the big bank, trying to trade with higher institutions. You should be focused on trying to trade with the flow of the market. Some people now say 15 minutes is not reliable. Let's go to 1 hour. Let's use 1 hour. You now see that when you're trying to use 1 hour, you'll still be missing out on a lot of other trades, or you won't even get those trades at all. A liquidity trader trying to use here as liquidity and trying to use here as an entry point will also miss out. The market did not get to that point. A liquidity trader trying to do what? Use here as liquidity. Just watch this. Use here as liquidity because now he wants to move up one time frame so that everything will be working well, because they say the higher the time frame, the more stronger it's going to work. You want to look at this, use it as liquidity, use it as your entry point. The market is not going to trigger you. Your broker cannot just trigger this kind of trade because of spread. You see that you've missed out on this opportunity. You've missed out on that. Someone trading advanced MS scenario is already getting an edge entering this trade from this point. Also getting another entry from this point here. Advanced MS scenario trader will get an entry here. And see how it moves. These are the things you need. Even this place, advanced MS scenario trader, I was going to get a trade also from here. You don't need to wait for liquidity. You see, now look at advanced MS scenario trader getting a trade from this RBS. You see that, and it leaves. Very easy. If you've been trading forex for more than 1 to 5 or 1 to 6 years and you're still not profitable, you're still suffering yourself, and you're still there in liquidity, you're doing yourself a very bad thing. Stop that. Go and trade a strategy that works with the algorithm that controls the market. Just throw away liquidity. In the part 2 of this video, I'm going to tell you what you should be looking at for, what you should be using for trades instead of liquidity. So like, share, and subscribe, so when I drop new videos, you'll be notified. Check the link in the description below. Join my Telegram channel and also follow me on TikTok. I drop most of my chats and trades on TikTok. See you guys in the next video.